Hi everyone, it's John here, Wednesday 11th December 2013. I'll be just going up to the police station very shortly to see Tony Geldenhys. It's because we made an appointment yesterday, so I can hand him these documents for Mike Clement, the District Commander of Police in Auckland area. To let him know that we're going ahead to arrest John Key. The Prime Minister is away at the moment at Nelson Mandela's funeral in South Africa, and so we're going to get him arrested, and also Doug Rikard Bell. A very extensive case in Admiralty law and Admiralty court-martial. I'm a private prosecutor bringing attention to the world on Facebook. This is our court hearing for the first time, historic hearing of blue-collar crime here in New Zealand. Fraud at its worst, and including Crown state agents acting fraudulently. So we have enough evidence now to lock them up and seize all their property with this lien warrant that's gone through the High Court of Admiralty in London with Judge David Lindsay Mackey. So we're teamed up with Aylett Investigations here. He will take hold of the instructions from me to search and seize 61 Cook Street in Auckland here. The property in question here were the fraud land transactions involving Crown Chris Phillison, Attorney General, Land Register General Robert Muir, and the Land Auditor Survey Register General Robert Andrell, and also Don Grant, the LINZ Land Survey Register General from Australia. So you've got Australia Commonwealth of Australia government involved in the fraud 1993 Te Ture Whenua Native Land Act that they've implemented in Australia for their government. Their new government and their bonds on the stock market, US federal state and Washington DC, where they've lodged their bonds, social security bonds, and also the birth certificate bonds from New Zealand citizens and Australian citizens without their knowledge. So we have very serious issues to talk to the police duty officer, Tony Geldenhys. He knows me from another case we did in London with Falconer and Martin Scaluna. Right, so those two people, a lawyer and a banker that I've got ready for him to do, Graham Aylett. And so he's waiting with our other friend, my other friend Matty Dodd, working with me with this business of fraud prosecutions, fraud cases. This helps the police to rein in a lot of the cases they can't do, and it takes too long in the courts because they haven't got evidence. We got all the evidence, being the landlords here of New Zealand, the native title, absolute, and over the Crown's title. So we are seizing the Crown's title, the Crown itself, with the King's Bench, King's Commerce, King William IV. We are his legal, trading bank, commercial partner in business, with his flag, seal of sovereign monarch in London, direct to the government, British government in London. That's our partner, our business partner, and the Navy, Royal British Navy, and the Defence Force. So you've got Sir George, Rear Admiral Sir George Zimbalist, and also Nicholas Horton, the Defence Commander-in-Chief, with us, and also Secretary of State Philip Hammond for Defence. So he's an MP for the British government that we're dealing with directly. So he's watching over us to see what happens here. You'll have the Rhys Jones in the Defence Force here retiring, and his place has been taken by another replacement in February next year, 2014. So we're holding him to account, Rhys Jones, and also Jack Steer, Rear Admiral Jack Steer in the Navy. They haven't answered us. Both of those people haven't answered us in our affidavit. So the time's passed now, and we leave that in the hands of the British military to assist us to arrest any fraud people, including those assisting the fraudsters, John Key and Doug Rikard Bell, and everybody involved with that land transaction on 61 Cook Street. We're going to seize all those people who have bought the property, Simon Roundtree and James Brown. You'll lose the property. You have to get your money back from Hornibrook, Mark Hornibrook, and Andrew McDonald, lawyers, who sold the property with Westpac Bank and Bailey's Real Estate. We're going to put the warrant on you too. You got warned not to sell it. You did sell it, and so now you're indicted in this search and seizure warrant on your companies, on your corporations, from Ngātua Aotea Limited Corporation, that's our company, and Moai Crown Private Company, Moai Powerhouse Group in London, and Moai Powerhouse here, companies, and my name as well. Okay, so we've got that against you, bearing down on you. Right now, I'm going to the police station to drop the, there's about 60 pages of this notice to them to stand aside and leave us to go with the private prosecutor, private investigator. I'm the private prosecutor, and he will report to the police what we're doing, so that they know they don't come and interfere. Any police constable or superintendent or anybody that interferes will be dragged into the contract between me and John Key personally, in personam, corporation, right? Company, me against him and me against Douglas Rikard Bell and all those other 11 people involved in the fraud case on the land, and John Key's cited for the Treason Act on the Commonwealth of Australia, taking our 1993 Te Ture Whenua Act for their Act of Native Lands in Australia, without the Aboriginals knowing, the Australian Aborigines, native people, knowing what is happening with our 93 Act. There's no 93 Act with consent anywhere in the world except us. That's a contract to Westminster Parliament with the Regent, Geoffrey Foley, HRH, Prince Regent, Geoffrey Foley, has the control over that contract with Westminster and us, the Hapu Confederation. Okay, so we've got all that documented, sealed with a King William seal of his sovereignty and his Admiralty jurisdiction. Okay, so that's over the mace or of the Supreme Court here in New Zealand, fraudulent, with the Commonwealth of Australia Supreme Court in Canberra, straight to the US federal state, indicted, fraudulent, treasonous act against our state. Your threat now, John Key, and your federal state here, and your Commonwealth here, over our people here, who don't know what's going on. Okay, so that's what I want to say. We're going to drop these documents off, go to my bank, get it all set up, and issue notice. And so the government will be notified as well of what's happening here. Their names are all in the box now in the Admiralty Court. Is the Admiralty of King William's Bench, Revenue, and King's Commerce, and King of the Sea, King's Silent No More, because we are his partner to talk, to speak for the King. I'm here to speak for the King of England, and also the new King, King Foley, legitimate King. Okay, so here I am with the astronomical, historic, organic, customary, native, indigenous, ancestral inheritance, Tahitian, African, male, DNA, title to God's grace, face of Moai statute, jurisdiction, and authority, rule of law, title. Okay, that's me, private prosecutor, John Wanoa, Auckland, New Zealand. Have a nice day. We'll catch you later. We'll let you know how we got on the meeting today at 11 o'clock, Auckland Central Police Station. Today, Wednesday, 11 December 2013. Thank you. Bye for now. And I'm meeting Tony Geldenhys because Mike, Clement, and Kay Watson, his secretary, refused to see me yesterday. They refused to talk to me. Peter Marshall, the New Zealand Police Commissioner, refused to talk to me or write to me, or both of them write to me. Rhys Jones, the Defence Minister, Defence Commander-in-Chief, refused to write to me and respond. And also Jack Steer, the Rear Admiral of the Navy and the Royal New Zealand Navy, refused to write to me and respond to the affidavits I sent to them. So that means I am suspecting and I accuse them of assisting the fraud donkey and swearing the oath to something else other than the Queen that people think they are swearing to. I'm alleging they're swearing to the federal state of the Commonwealth of Australia and through the Supreme Court to the Queen, Supreme Governor of the Church of England, fraud, criminal felon, and wanted for crimes of church and state with Pope Ratzinger, Joseph Ratzinger, Pope Francis, Georgi, Mario Bergoglio, Pope Francis, and also the Black Pope, Adolfo Nicholas Patron, right? And also Evelyn Rothschild, the Rothschild banks, he's wanted to in this indictment. Okay, so but now we've got the police involved in this fraud case that we're suspecting now. This video is brought to you through Facebook, our court, our Moai Admiralty Court Marshal on Facebook, admissible in the High Court of Admiralty, London, and the cases are heard now as evidence for any court case that we put on Facebook or anywhere in this country, New Zealand and Pacific Islands and the world for that matter. Thank you very much. Bye for now. See you again soon.